to Rinoa Reviews, and welcome to the second of 4 Tekken-based movies I found. We've had Robin Shu be in more than one video game-based movie. Here's one where Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa is the main villain. Maybe. So let's get gritty with our 2010 movie, simply titled Tekken. War breaks out, and now 8 huge corporations have divided up the countries of Earth, collectively known as Iron Fist. America fell to the strongest, Tekken. Now 1 minute in, already a huge glaring flaw because Tekken translates literally to Iron Fist. But once a year they host a Kill or Be Killed tournament outskirts of the city littered with burning trash as AMV beat music plays. I can't remember the song, but it's the one that goes, "One of us is going, and one of us is going down." This is clearly later Tekken because our main hero is a sort of British-sounding Jin Kazama. The guy likes his accent slip sometimes. He's running through the city stealing parts and such for the underground. The non-Tekken. They're either freedom fighters or just freethinkers. But yeah, Heihachi here with the side points. It should look 100% silly for Tagawa, but it honest to God, just because he has that kind of presence to pull it off. He goes on the big screen TV saying that, as we've won the last 4 tournaments, we now hold our upcoming tournament here in Tekken City. Strength through order, that is Tekken. Television in a bar where Jin's at mentions my man Martial Law. Did not make prelims and is said to being forced to fight in an open call for a wild card spot in the upcoming tournament. Jin doing his business with the bar paying his tab, trading a briefcase guy just to get Colombian coffee grounds, chocolate bar, and an orange. Yeah, times be real tough in Tekken City. Jin gets a little bit accosted by the guys who are freedom fighters, but Jin wants nothing to do with them. In the tournament stage, Heihachi talks to Kazuya? He doesn't have white hair, so I don't think it's Lee Chaolan, so Kazuya gets me number 2 guy. Heihachi puts him in charge of the Tekken Jackhammer Force for the tournament's duration, as the curfew for this place is called. Jin brings home his stuff to his mother, who is unhappy her son is still doing runs and not using what she taught him for more. I get the character you're going for, but shit's clearly already fucked. Jin wants to make the big money in Tekken like his dad. She tells him dad's dead and to stay away. Tekken was built on people wanting more. City's burned for that. He's having none of our cautionary words and leaves in a huff. The Jackhammer squad follows the trail, I guess? They go to the first place Jin drops stuff off, and Kazuya and his goons kill them all. Another squad to the mother's home to that place destroyed, with troops still inside. Kazuya being more of a doer than a thinker? Yeah, that's on brand. Jackhammers look really cool, by the way. They're clearly fully armed stormtroopers, but with a certain Japanese kendo mask style for their little face and helmets. They don't find Jin, though. They just waste everything he's been in contact with. So he burns with revenge. Outside my closed captioning caught this bald British dude's name as Steve. As in Steve Fox? Ugh. He's got $100 global for a man who can go against martial law. None of the crowd seemed too eager, except for this massive dude in a shirt that says white boy on it, so even Steve calls him that. Jin wants in too, so he gets accepted. 3-round prelims against martial law in a caged octagon. White boy pieces out after seeing martial law break another fighter's arm. He's like, nope. Martial law, very good looking pants costume he's known for wearing, by the way. Maybe it's a good sign after all. The costume pieces will be the part of the... But Jin gets next. The bar patrons notice the fight on the screen. Yeah, this underground fight's getting televised. Well, I guess for the tournament it's gotta be. Guess that's all you can really do in Tekken City, just kind of celebrate and push more the tournaments. More blood drawn in this one fight than all of the live-action Mortal Kombat. Damn. Both guys getting real good hits in. But Jin, being our movie pro tag, wins after getting the anime trope of flashback from the past. Some harsh training from his mother. You're only beaten when you decide, quote unquote. Heihachi sees Jin win and the ratings go way up on this. It's like, he's a local hero. He represents the streets. Wow, that was fast. One fight did all that. Steve takes Jin and mentions, you just beat a Tekken fighter. All the other ones have these sponsors. They do all the paperwork, registration, training, all the other details. So Steve offers to take care of all that. At some hotel or room, it's Kazuya bedding two women. Anna and Nina? Ooh. So it's both of them in this movie. Instead of leave just one. Haha. Guess Kazuya wins again. He's playing the Lee Chaolan in this movie where he's like, scheming. Tekken should be mine. I'm his heir. Heihachi upset with Kazuya celebrating instead of setting up for the tournament. Heihachi saying that winning the tournament is everything. We win Tekken, we win the world, and bring honor to the Mishima name. We get our roster rundown from, yes indeed, Kazuya. All different, corporations, including G-Corps. They get a nod, I guess. Weird that Raven's representing them, but alright. But yeah, Raven, former military intelligence, ninja guy, Eddie Gordo, underworld enforcer, Sergei Dragunov. Yep, Kazuya Ben and the Williams sisters, they're here, assassins. Christy Montiero, she's supposed to be capoeira too, but Kazuya in this movie states she's MMA. Miguel Rojo, Zippora specialist. Yoshimitsu looking real tokusatsu-ass and not in a convincing way. But again, like I said with Kazuya, that's about par. That's about his spud. So I look at that and just go, yeah, okay. It's Yoshimitsu. And the current Iron Fist champion, Brian Fury. So now the tournament's decided. All the participants, Jin entering the gym with all the other fighters trading up. Leads with Christy staring at her toes, being a creeper. But no, he mentions Bagua Zhang requires precise foot movement. So they kind of fight nerd out each other. They converse for a bit. Possible love interest. Enough about that. More cool fight shit as round one pits Raven against Eddie Gordo. Not sure MMA pummeling is very ninja, but it works. Next fight, Miguel versus Jin. Steve offers advice, including a tell where Miguel throws out his left knee on all his right punches, so use that to your advantage. Jin struggles at first, but gets another flashback to training with his mother. This is the second fight in a row he's had to use this trope to remember, oh right, I'm the pro tag, I'm supposed to be winning. Jin breaks Miguel's arm and then batters him for a while after the fight's over. Steve saying, you were damn lucky. You gotta hit these next fights hard and hit them high. Flashback before you fight, and maybe this will go quicker. Is what I wanted Steve to say if he knew about all that bullshit. He's like, what the fuck are you doing in there? Having anime flashbacks? Have it before your fight. Maybe if I just start smacking you around, I can, trigger it or something. Could you imagine that as, a superpower? You'd never lose. You would just be able to just call upon it and just be like, I now have the will to win. I have the power of story progression. Jin and Steve both run into Kazuya, who mentions Jin's style is familiar. See, during the fight with Jin and Miguel, Kazuya didn't see too much and thought Jin was lucky. Heihachi knows better, because he's Heihachi fucking Mishima. But Kazuya's like, hey, your dad ever fight in Iron Fist? Jin says, I never knew him. Kazuya says, keep fighting like that, you'll be an asset to Tekken. Jin scoffs, saying, never. This renews more serious training, and then we get more scenes with main guy and hot new girl, complete with gratuitous ass crack shot from Christy. Guess that's what an R rating gets you. So she warns Jin, maybe not do any more of that crazy murderous shit in the tournament. Tekken ain't about that. Jin relays, I should be more calm like you, revealing he knows her from Iron Fist promotions. Grew up outside American territories. Grandfather taught her how to fight, entered her in the amateur leagues, won championships. All the backstory, these two need to hook up, I guess. She leaves before things get too physical. She may have to fight him tomorrow, after all. She leaves, the lights go down, and Jin is attacked as the lights go from off to dim. Just weird blinkers or something. Christy hears the commotion and sees Jin battered. Steve's upset, believing no one from the anvil that placed the jackhammer's anvil down in the slums. Subtle. But no one from there gets to win the tournament. Jin pocketed something from his mother from the explosion, shows Steve. That's Jun Kazama. I know her. She was a Tekken fighter, a good one. Steve and Christy warned Jin, go underground and forget Iron Fist, but Jin's still dead set on killing Heihachi. A frustrated Kazuya knows that Jin still lives somehow, and that the Williams sisters underestimated him. Which Kazuya did in front of Heihachi before you set the sisters on him, so... Pot called, Kettle says, chicken. Tournament continues. Jin's told by Christy, Stay where the cameras can see you. They won't try anything in public. Shu fights Nina Williams. Jin tells her, "That's one of the assassins that attacked me." So Shu puts a receipt to Nina. Meanwhile, Kazuya is given cold, hard global cash to Brian Fury. Brian's all, "What makes you think I need your millions?" Kazuya says, "Replacing bone with flex steel isn't cheap." I said flex steel. But yeah, flex steel ain't cheap, and neither's the maintenance. Cyber enhancements are illegal. You'll be booted out of Iron Fist, they find out, Kazuya says. Putting on a front for Heihachi, who wants nothing to happen to this new fighter. Heihachi has his own plan for Jin, maybe? Speaking of Jin, his next fight's against Yoshimitsu. Steve gives Jin those red gloves he's known for wearing in the game, so now his outfit's complete. Looks really good. A lot of the outfits, they got as close as humanly possible to the actual games, so that gets me really stoked. Heihachi wants the fight changed, thinking this will be a better semi-final, and Kazuya refuses making his move and plans to replace his father and claim Tekken as his own. At least Jin gets a spear to make this weapon fight more fair. Yoshimitsu already armed with his sword. So they go at that for a while, then it goes hand to hand. Yoshimitsu more past champion and less manje party, and more agreeable with how Kazuya wants things done. Heihachi believing there's no honor in this. Kazuya sees the railing spike. The only thing people want more than blood is death, he surmises. And you're about to see the death of Jin Kazama. Heihachi's like, Kazama? Kazuya mentions, a byproduct of one of my early indiscretions. Heihachi is shocked. You have a son? Kazuya says, I had a son. Heihachi fights off the jacks and hits an alarm as Jin flashbacks again and bests Yoshimitsu. After that, Heihachi is retook and taken away. The jack show to the 10 all the other fighters as Christy, Steve, and Jin slip through the crowd. Steve saying on the TV graphic, "Oh, Heihachi's been arrested, and they are soon as well." All Tekken fighters now detained. Kazuya tells him, after seeing the rating spike, after I watched Jin almost kill Yoshimitsu, he concludes all fights from now on are to the death. Jin tells the others, without any fighters, there's not going to be any tournament. No one has to die. And jailbreak time. Nice one, Kazuya. Your plan went tits up in seconds. Even frees Heihachi, much to Jin's chagrin. You owe me a life, old man, Heihachi replies. I owe you nothing, young man. So they escape to a safe house as Kazuya orders the jacks to tear the anvil apart to find the fighters and recapture them. Jin and Heihachi get to talking. Heihachi says, I knew your mother. She was one of Tekken's best. And not to judge Tekken by Kazuya's mistakes. He created Tekken not only as a corporation, but as a means to stem the chaos, wanting to remake the world. Tekken is order. Jin says that's all bullshit that you spew to tell people that are dying in the slums of Anvil. Tekken is fear. My mother's blood is on your hands. Heihachi replies, he saved her once, found her beaten, violated, revealing it was Kazuya. So Heihachi rationalizes, okay, I got 2 heirs to Tekken now. Jacks arrive and poor Steve gets gunned down. Kazuya arrives saying, Tekken is mine. Heihachi says, you could never understand the true meaning of Tekken, that's why I could never yield it to you. You have not lived up to the Mishima name. Kazuya says, destroy everything, including him. Heihachi's last words to the Jack holding him by gunpoint. I am Mishima Heihachi. I am Tekken. And now Kazuya gets all his fighters back for the new Kill or Be Killed Iron Fist tournament. Dragunov versus Brian Fury. We're going Tekken Tag 2 with this shit. Or at least Soul Calibur edits, because everyone's got weapons now. Dragunov gets a spear. Brian with the big chain. They do that for a while until it's down to fist once again, until the chain is back in Brian's hands, and he chokes out Dragunov. Back at a holding cell, Kazuya villains all the way up, like, to levels I didn't think I would ever see it in a movie like this. But yeah, he's all gloating over him with Jun, even going so far as to tell him, I'd have killed her if I knew she was pregnant. No telling what he'd do to Christy if Jin didn't fight in this tournament. Telling him, you want to kill me? Go through the champ first. He leaves and takes Christy to sit and watch the upcoming fight. Raven tries to talk some sense into Jin, saying, anger doesn't fuel the soul of a fighter, it burns it. Before you went crazy on Miguel, I saw a flash of greatness in you. You're fighting for all of us now. You can become champion. Jin's flashback says much the same. Well, okay, he's doing it before the fight. Let's see if it helps him out. Nope, it's the champion and little cyborg. He's going to take a beating. So we get another flashback, and Jin knows, there might be some weakness to find and exploit in Brian, and apparently that weakness is hit him harder from atop a fake scaffolding as part of the fight set like a WMAC Masters spot. Hit him higher, hit him harder. Kazuya's enraged. Announce me as the final opponent, he says. I'll fight Jin now. Kazuya rolls up with double axes, ready to carve up his own son like a bird. He sees Jin get up, and Kazuya's all, the look of vengeance, it burns through your blood. The cursed Mishima blood. Christy escapes and attacks, and that distracts Kazuya for Jin to strike back, overpower, and goes to cut down Kazuya, but stops, saying, your curse, not mine. Yeah, you want to check on Brian Fury there, bud? But sure ain't getting up from that. Christy sees him and taunts him up as going from the people's choice to the people's champion. Jin's off to head back home. The Jacks even saluting their new champion, so I guess he is heir to Tekken now? So yeah, Christy goes on to say, the House of Mishima has fallen. Kazuma's name means hope and freedom, but freedom comes and goes, and the world had no warning, for the true legacy of Tekken was only just beginning. Sequel bait. Post-credits reveal the full scene of the I am Heihachi of I am Tekken, you will obey. And the jackhammer does so yeah. Kazuya's on the run, Heihachi still lives, and Jin, I guess, will, if there's like a Tekken 2. And that was the live-action Tekken movie. Action scenes were top-notch, the sets and costumes too, real gritty and dark movie. Not so much embracing those weird anime tropes Tekken's known for in some cases, it's just gritty and real. Heihachi looking the parts, I guess, is really all I can say for best character instead of just giving it to Jin. He looks the part. I don't know how you convinced him to take that haircut, but again, it should look completely stupid, and arguably it does, but I look at this and just go, yep. Okay. Worst character. I mean, Kazuya does his job well enough, garnering soothing contempt and man, I hope the movie villain gets his. But we could have skipped a few minutes of movie if Kaz didn't have to re-get his prisoners, but maybe that was his plan so he could find Heihachi, but he already had Heihachi. Steve Fox being retired too, not worse, just had to relegate him to that, makes it kind of like, not worst character, just worst predicament. But yeah, no one really flat out, like, I looked at and it was just like, Even the guys only showed up for a scene where, like, they're in the outfits, they're doing the fighting styles, cool. You got nothing bad to say about that. Except maybe for Christy, who is just there to be, like, hot girl. Even though Jin already has, like, his, a woman back home during the whole, like, before the tournament even took place. And she's watching the fight, too, so I was like, ooh, that's going to be awkward. They have to explain that afterwards. Nope, movie over, wrap it up. Christy still boots a rain check into Nuna for hurting Jin, so, again, a lot of, okay, this was bad, but okay, then they kind of balance it out. The power-off moment, though, was every fight Jin has, there's a flashback. It's like Popeye's can of spinach being seen multiple times, except, Popeye can kick ass without it for a while, too. You wait till a climax or a big turning point with your character to do this. Not every single fight he happens to be losing in. Oh, they overused the hell out of this thing. Power On is just how everybody that's a character in this shines in their own way, save for Steve Fox. So yeah, I guess that makes him worse character just because he's not, he's just a retired bald guy. I'm like, it could have been anybody. But yeah, everybody else looks amazing. Much love was put into this. This movie may sit atop the likes of Mortal Kombat movie in terms of progression, plot, and design. This is what I was hoping that Mortal Kombat sequel was going to be. And as I mentioned Mortal Kombat, it so happens that this movie got a sequel that did really poorly according to Wikipedia. Before I cover that, the next movie I'm covering inserts a new character? Possibly one of the more zanier movies I've covered in Tekken, called Blood Vengeance. So, until next time, take care, and... Tagawa so far has played Shang Tsung and Heihachi. My rule of 3 senses tingle. Capcom should find someone with enough stones to make a rival schools movie so he can play Raizo. Just put him in a big man suit or something.